Hi lovely, so welcome back to the channel. So I'm very excited to share with you guys this beautiful tutorial that I make. So this was a request from one of my subscribers. She reached out to me and she showed me this particular design that she wants me to make a tutorial on it. So I promised her that I'll be making a tutorial on that. But before now, I'm so sorry that I couldn't make that tutorial on time because of one thing or the other. So I've finally made the tutorial. I just finished with the dress right now. I'm just through with it. That's why I didn't put it on because I've not yet put my buttons. So this is the dress. I decided to make use of this thick chiffon. So this is a thick chiffon, but it's soft. So that is what I said to make use of for mine. And you can see how the neck is. It's a palazzo pants and this oversized shirt that she asked me to make that have a sort of a um kimono sleeve and also additional sleeve to it, as you can see. So I went ahead to add drawstring to mine. So but the one she gave me does not have any drawstring, so I just decided to add drawstring to mine in case if I don't want it to be that long. I'll just go ahead and adjust it like this. So there's drawstring at the both side of it like this, as you can see. So I'm super excited that I could make this tutorial for her, and now I'm going to be posting it. So thank you guys so much for always supporting my channel and always reaching out to me. So thank you guys so much.
So welcome back. So guys, this is what we are going to be using to make this beautiful tutorial. So we are going to be using our ruler. You'll be needing a ruler. It mustn't be this master ruler. You'll be needing a chalk. Like you have to get a chalk that has to show on your fabric. So at this point, I'm just praying that this white chalk will be visible on my fabric. I'll be needing your measuring tape. Yeah, you really need that. Then you'll be needing your pins, like especially when you're working with a fabric that moves a lot, you'll be needing your pin to hold it down in place so that when you measure, you won't have excess on it. And you'll be needing your scissors. So now, as I said earlier, this is the fabric I'm going to be using for this. I have this fabric already in my house. It's a chiffon fabric, but it's not that transparent chiffon. So it's thick. It's not a transparent chiffon, but it's thick and at the same time is soft. So this is what we are going to be using, and we are going to be starting by folding our fabric into two. So you start by folding your fabric into two. So guys, I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two, as you can see. So this is what it's looking like. So fold your fabric into two. Now what I'll be determining what you'll be folding is your hip circumference. That is the bigger part of your pant. So go ahead and measure your hip, divide it by 4. Whatever you have, you go ahead and add excess to it. Add 5 inches to it. Now this is my hip measurement. This is where it ends, as you can see. So this is my hip measurement I've measured, and I went ahead to add 5 inches to it, depending on how wide you want your pant to be, the palazzo pant to be. So this totally depends on how free you want this to be on you. Now I'll just go ahead and start taking my measurement. Now I'll be using that part as my waist. As you can see, the tip of my fabric, I'm just arranging it very well. So I'll be using it as my waist. So I'll just go ahead and trim that part because it looks like it's not equal. Like one part is higher than the other. So I'll just go ahead and trim it out. So I'll trim it very well to make sure that I'm having a even level there at that point. Now I'll be placing my tape there to start taking my measurements. Now you'll be watch at how I place my tape. Now to take my crotch line, that is my crotch, the crotch extension line, I'll be placing my tape like this. I'll go ahead and divide my hip by 4. Divide your hip by 4. Then go ahead and add extra 2 inches to it. Add extra 2 inches to it to get your crotch length, that is your seat. Divide your hip by 4 and add extra 2 inches to it. If you are working with a plus size, you can go ahead and add 2.5 inches to it. It will be perfect and okay. So that is what I did for mine, for my seat. So I'm just trying to extend that line at the side of my fabric as well. Then I'll go ahead and connect it. So now I just remember that my fabric moves a lot, so I'll just go ahead and use my pin and hold it down. So I'll be using my pin to hold it down so that when I'm inserting my measurement, it won't be moving around, so the fabric will stay in place. So that is what I did. Once I'm done pinning it down, I'll just go ahead and drop the pin aside. Now that is my crotch line. Now I want to take my hip line. Now you go ahead and measure your hip line. So I'm making use of 9 inches for my hip. So I'm making use of 9 inches for my hip line. So go ahead and measure your hip line. So now once I was done doing that, I'll go ahead and start inserting my measurement. Now at that waistline, as you see, since it's a palazzo pant and I'm going to be making use of elastic waistband, I'll be inserting my hip circumference there. I'll go ahead and insert my hip circumference there. So let me just bring it down so you guys can see. I divide my hip by 4 and I insert it at my waist. Then I also go ahead and add 2 inches to it because I want this pant to be somehow free on me. So after inserting your hip circumference, you go ahead and add 2 inches to your pant at that waist part. As you see me doing, go ahead and add 2 inches to it. Once I'm done at adding that 2 inches, I'll go ahead and measure what I have there. The total of whatever I have there, that is what I'll be inserting on my crotch line as well. So whatever I have there, I'll go ahead and insert it on my crotch line as well. Now I'll go ahead and use my ruler and connect it to make it a straight line. Now for my crotch extension, as you can see, for my crotch extension, go ahead and divide whatever you have on that your crotch line by 4, and when you divide it by 4, you insert it there. Go ahead and divide whatever you have on that line by 4 and go ahead and insert it there. Or if you are confused, you can just go ahead and make use of 2.5 inches for your crotch extension. You can divide whatever I have on that crotch line by 4, insert it there, then you go ahead and or you use 2.5 inches for your crotch extension. Either one would work perfectly. So then you go ahead and curve it to meet your hip line like you see me doing. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I'm doing and follow it up. So now you can decide for your pant to be this wide down. If you don't want it to be that wide, you can go ahead and reduce the hem of your pants by 1 inches, but mine I will just leave it like that. Now I want to take the full length of my pants. Now look at how I'm taking the measurement of my full length of my pants. I'm not going to be placing my tape like that. I'll go ahead and minus 2 inches for my waistband. Make sure you minus your 2 inches for your waistband while taking the length of your pants. Make sure you minus 2 inches for your waistband. So now I've minus 2 inches for my waistband. I'll go ahead and mark the length of my pants plus 2 inches hemming allowance. I'll be adding extra 2 inches for the hemming allowance for the down. When you mark the length of your pants, add your extra 2 inches for the hemming allowance. So that is all for that down part. Now let's get back to the waist part. So at this waist part, at the side of my pants, at the waist, I'll be going in by 1 inches because I want my pant to have that curve at the side. You know that your boot is not that straight from your hip. So when I go in by 1 inches from my waist, I'll go ahead and connect it up like this. Connect it to that my hip line like this and to the full length. So now at the center part of my front pants, you will be coming down by 1 inches. So do that so that your part will sit perfectly on you. Always make sure that you come down by 1 inches or half inches at the center part of your pants. Then you go ahead and cut it out. So just watch as how I'm cutting it out. So I'm cutting out that 1 inches I came down by from the center of my pants. Now I'll just go ahead and connect it up like this. So guys, I'm cutting out the front part. So when we are done cutting this front, we'll be folding another piece of fabric so that we can cut the back part. So there is not much to this front. As you can see, we have already take all the necessary measurements and everything else. I hope you understand what we did here. I'm hoping that you understand what I'm trying to explain as well. So guys, I'm done cutting it. Let me just cut out that excess at the hem of my pants. So this is what the front pants should look like. So it's a free palazzo pants. So this is what it should look like. So once I'm done doing this, I'll go ahead and fold another fabric for my back. So if you notice, this one I fold another fabric into two, but this time around is more wider than the front because the back piece is always bigger than the front, but is the easiest part to cut in your pants because you just have to make use of your front to get the back. So I'll go ahead and place my front on the back part like this. So I'll just go ahead and place my front on the back part like this. As you see me doing, just make sure that you arrange it, make it to align perfectly. And when you place it, make sure that at your center crotch part, you have more allowance there. And at the side, you should also have up to 1 inches allowance at the side. But then your crotch should be up to 3 inches allowance. Now I'll just go ahead and measure my crotch extension. So I'll be adding 3 inches for the back crotch extension. So I usually make use of these 3 inches and it works perfectly for me. So I'll just go ahead and mark it. Now I'll just extend that my crotch line like this. Then I will now connect it to the hip. If you notice, I did not add any extra allowance at the waist of this my center back part. I just connect it to that hip line exactly. It's only at the crotch that I add. So once I'm done getting what I want at that point, as you can see, now just make sure you have a nice curve there. That's what I'm just trying to do. Now at this side, you go ahead and add 1.5 inch allowance all through. So at this side, the center part of your pants, go ahead and add 1.5 inch allowance all through. So once I'm done ironing it, adding it, I will be connecting all the dots together like this. So now at the side of your pants, add 1 inch allowance to it. And this 1 inch allowance you're going to be adding will be starting from the waist. So you will start from the waist to add that 1 inch allowance that you're going to be adding at the sides of your pants like this. So you'll be adding this 1 inch allowance to the full length of your pants. Make sure you add that 1 inch allowance at the side of your pants. So go ahead and connect all the dots together. So our pants, our back part of this pant is almost ready. Now the next thing for you to do, go ahead and replace that 1 inches that you took out from the front to the back. Make sure you always add 1 inches to the back of your pant. It helps your pant to sit perfectly on you. Your back cleavage will not be showing. Like when you sit down, the back, your back boots will not be showing. So that is the reason why you add 1 inch to the back. So now just go ahead and cut it out, and that will be all for our pants, the cutting of our pants. And guys, this particular tutorial you're seeing right here is just the cutting part because I couldn't join the cutting and the sewing, but is the cutting for both the upper part and the down part, that is the pants and also the shirt part. So once we are done with this pants cutting, we'll go ahead and fold our fabric to start cutting for our upper part, that is the shirt part. Now if you measure your leg and you find out that it's too wide for you, you can go ahead and reduce it, but for mine, I love it the way it is. So now this is the piece we are going to be using to cut the upper part of our clothes, of the shirt. This is it. This is the piece and it's on fold. I've folded it already. So the first thing you're going to be doing to determine the weight of your material, insert your shoulder measurement and go ahead and add extra inches for your kimono sleeve format, because this is cut together. You cut it together first. Now once you are done with that and you are sure of your working space, you will now go ahead and take in 2 inches for the button allowance. We all know that in a shirt we have the button in the front. That is why we cut our front pattern first. So you first and take the button allowance of 2 inches. Please make sure you take 2 inches for your button allowance, and that is where you will be taking your measurements from. That 2 inches, that is where you'll be taking your measurements from. So once I'm done marking that, now we'll start inserting our shoulder measurement. So I'll go ahead and divide my shoulder by 2 and place it. Then I'll also go ahead and add, oh, okay, in this particular case, I add 4 inches. I add almost 7 inches, but I later trim out some. I add almost 7 inches for the extension of the sleeve. But when I was sewing that, I did an adjustment to it. So you really need to also watch the sewing part. So now I'll take my neck width of 3 inches. That is my neck width for the front, and I'll also be taking neck depth of 3 inches as well for the front. Then I'll go ahead and connect it up like this. So that is my neck width and my neck depth for the front. Now I'll go ahead and come down by 1 inches for my shoulder slant. We all know that this part is very, very important in our dress to make the shoulder sit in perfectly. Always make sure that you slant your shoulder. If you're working with somebody that has a broad shoulder, go down by 1.5 inches. But if just regular shoulders like mine, you can just use 1 inches. Now I'll be determining the sleeve opening. Now this is the sleeve opening because this shirt is a kind of kimono shirt, but they add additional sleeve to it. Now I'll be going down by, so I went down by almost 10 inches for my sleeve opening, and that line will be serving as my chest line. So that line will be serving as my chest line. Just watch as what it is. Now I'll be placing my tape on the shoulder. So I'll go ahead and place my tape on the shoulder to mark my waist. So place your tape on the shoulder, go ahead and mark your waistline. So mark your waistline and then also mark the full length of your blouse. So I'm using 28 inches for the full length of my blouse. But because of the nature of the back part, I use 27. The full length of my blouse is 28. So I make use of 27 for the front. Then I'll be adding the additional one at the back. Now I'll go ahead and divide my bust by 2. Then I'll be adding extra 3 inches allowance. Extra 3 inches allowance for ease and for sewing. So I'll mark my waist divided by 4 and I'll be adding extra 3 inches allowance again. So this 3 inches allowance will be serving as ease allowance and also sewing allowance. So that is it. So I also insert my hip circumference at the full length. My camera didn't capture that part, but what I inserted there was my hip circumference, and I also add 3 inches allowance to it, and I now connect all the dots together. So that is it. I'm cutting it out like this. We see this shirt has a sort of a kimono pattern. So this shirt has a sort of a kimono pattern. So this is it, and this is it. So I will now go ahead and fold in my button allowance, so that we'll be using this front to cut the back. We are going to be using this front to cut the back. So go ahead and fold it like this, and you'll be folding another piece so that you can place this front on it to cut your back. So this is a piece I've gone ahead to fold. So I've folded it, and I'm going to be placing the front part to it like this. I'm going to be placing the front part to it like this. Remember, we are folding our button allowance, I mean to say. So while placing this, you should make sure that you have excess allowance at the top of the back part. So you should be having up to 2 inches extra allowance at the shoulder part of your back. You should be having 2 inches allowance at the shoulder part of your back. So go ahead and mark it. So I'll just go ahead and mark 2 inches allowance excess. So that was why I said that instead of me to mark 28 for the front, I mark 27, because by the time I will join the shoulder of this front and the back, I'll be having 1 inches extra. So that 1 inches will be serving as the extra one that I remove from the front. Now I just want to have that slant shape at that shoulder part. That is why I have to measure it. So I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this. I'll go ahead and cut it out like this. Now the next thing for you to do is to go ahead and overlap this with 1/2 inches. So make sure that this back part overlap the front part shoulder with 1/2 inches. Is very, very necessary because this is what you'll be using to cut. So overlap it with 1 inch. That 1 inch, that 1/2 inches that you are overlapping with will be serving as your sewing, as the sewing allowance for the two shoulder. So go ahead and hold it down. So just go ahead and hold it down like this. So guys, the first thing I'm going to do is to cut out the shape, but I really have to apologize to you guys before you see what that happened. So when I cut out this shape, my camera went off. I didn't know, so I didn't record when I cut the neck. So that is why I brought in these extra pieces, and I want to do an illustration on how to cut your neck. So what I did was to cut the shape of the dress. Now I fold that shoulder part by 1/2 inches like this. So now the only thing that was so special about this was the neck part. So when you fold it by 1/2 inches to overlap the front like this, then you go ahead and cut the neck part like this. So you'll be cutting, but that's extra 2 inches that you add to your dress. So this is how you'll be cutting the back neckline, because the back neckline has to be higher than that of the front, so that when you fix in your shirt collar, it will sit perfectly on your neck. So this is it. So just go ahead and cut it like this. So guys, I'm very, very, very sorry that I didn't know my camera didn't capture that. When I was editing this video, that was when I found that, and I could not do anything than to shoot this other video. So you can notice that that part has this upper neck thing like this. Then just go ahead and trim it out and blend it in. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. So I'm so sorry for this particular mistake that happened. I didn't have any control on it because I've already finished filming and everything. I just had to get this piece and show you guys what it looks like. So I'm so sorry, but I hope you understand what I did here. And this is all the pieces that we have cut. So these are all the pieces. Just this is the front piece. This is the front piece. You can see the front shirt part. This is the back part. You can see it's longer than the front because of the extra 2 inches. I'll just drop this aside. I'll also show you guys the pants. So this is the pants. It's the back and the front pants. So it's all looking so very nice. So thank you guys so much for watching this video to this point, and please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. If you have any requested tutorial that you want us to do, feel free to reach out to me. You can drop a comment at the comment box and reach out to me. Thank you so much.